Hi everyone, my name is Wayne. Today is the 1st of February. I hope everyone had a very good week this week. Last weekend, have a very good weekend. So today's topic is about the 4 guiding principles of effective prospecting. Before that, I would like to share with you the learning pyramid. Most of us, we like to attend classes, we like to learn, but I just want to share this with you that throughout your learning process, you can see from the hierarchy here is that you learn only about 5% through reading to lecture, reading about 10%. But however, you learn more through practice, group discussion, and teaching or sharing with others. So I hope everyone can adapt this learning pyramid structure so all of us can learn better. Okay? So today's topic is about the 4 guiding principles of effective prospecting. What are they? What are the 4 guiding principles of effective prospecting, and how do we apply in our everyday or weekly prospecting activities? Right. So, in the first place, what is prospecting? Prospecting is the first step in the sales process, which consists of identifying potential customers, also known as prospects. And the goal of prospecting is to develop a database of likely customers and then systematically convert or rather communicate with these prospects in the hopes of converting them into potential customers to our current customers. Okay. In our real estate business, there are actually 5 main prospecting activities that we usually do. Um, we distribute flyers. Let me take the screen away. It's blocking my view. There we are. Okay. These are the 5 main prospecting activities that we always do. Flyers, or we pay someone to send out flyers. We do telemarketing. Again, either we do it ourselves or we hired someone to do the telemarketing for us. And I have to admit, though, nowadays telemarketing is very, very challenging. We also do door knocking, roadshow hyping. Currently, with the phase 3, we are still not allowed to do this. And finally, some of us do social media marketing, right? So the 4 guiding principles of effective prospecting. In this case, in today's topic, I will only cover three of the 5 prospecting activities that we usually do. I will cover more on flyers, telemarketing, and door knocking. And I will share with you some examples regarding the 4 guidelines. So what are the 4 guiding principles of effective prospecting? Have you heard of this word AIDA? AIDA. Ida in also is a lady's name. I have a couple of friends before with the name Ida. But in this case, Ida is an acronym for something else. AIDA, Ida. A as in attention. Attention. I is interest, desire, and action. Let me go through one by one for you. Attention is the first step. The first step in the effective principle, or rather is the first step. I'm sorry. Is the first step in the 4 guiding principles of effective prospecting, and it is the most critical part of the principle, because the materials you use, the banner or the flyers that you use, or even the first sentence when you start a conversation with a potential prospect, must have the attention. I will call it the attention-seeking impact. In other words, you have to be creative. You, if possible, describe a scenario. Where possible, show some shocking or interesting statistics, or say something that will make the audience or the prospects, the people that you are talking to, the people that you're approaching, to stop for a while and listen to you and want to hear more and want to know what is next. And once you are able to get the attention, then you can move on to the next step, which is interest. Interest, once you get your prospects' attention and once they get hooked, then it's time for you to go to this step. That is to talk about the special features of your listings or the services that you can offer to your prospects. Provide them with real information, as this will be a chance to somehow impress them and make them feel interested and want to know more. Then come desire. Desire is relatively close to interest, because after you get their attention and they show interest in, and it is time for you to bring out that desire from them. Connect them emotionally where possible. Make them realize that you have the answer to all the queries that they have. You have the answer to all the doubts, and then you can offer them the best solution. Continue explaining the features of your listing or even the services that you provide, sharing with them the advantages and how it can benefit them. Because at this stage, and also at this stage, you may also want to ask some closing questions. Closing questions, I mean, like you can ask them when you, after you share certain facts with them, you can ask them, do you agree? When you offer them some details about the advantages that you can offer, then you can ask them, how does that sounds good? Or will this work for you? Okay, once you can see that your prospects agree to most of your closing questions, then it will be time for you to take the next action, to go to the next step. That is to take action. The action here is the final step, is the easiest, and it's also the most important. This is the part where you are to get the contact details of your prospects, or this is the part where you confirm the appointments. But however, throughout the whole steps in AIDA method, remember to always maintain professionalism, be tactful, and always remain courteous. Right? So in other words, prospecting is the process of creating attention and interest to win a conversation. Through the conversation, you can also create opportunity where your prospects will have the desire to know more. And once they're in that stage, that is the time to take action. Okay. So this is how prospecting should look like when you're using the AIDA method as a guideline. At the top of the funnel is attention, so you get as much attention as possible. From there will be some that will show interest and some that don't. All right, but so there's some that will show interest. Then a few more will express the desire, and then take action on those who said yes to your closing questions. So now, how do we apply AIDA in prospecting? How do we apply these four methods? Right? As I mentioned earlier on, I will only cover 3 today, which the 3 out of 5 main prospecting activities. That is through flyers, telemarketing, and door knockings. I will show you some examples as well. Okay, first of all, I have to send my thank you to Ivy for allowing me to use her flyers for today's presentation. All right, first one is flyers. Now, most of us use flyers to get leads or to send out listings or to get buyers to promote our listings. Some of you may say that flyers don't work, and some say flyers works. From my personal experience, all flyers works. All right. The question is just how effective your flyers are. However, the key thing is if we should include the AIDA guidelines in our flyers design. Okay. Okay. Today's example, if you look at these flyers, right? You look at the first part. How can we get the attention of the prospects? When I get these flyers, when I look at these flyers for the first time, I notice the word recession and recovery, especially with this current economic situation. These are the words that actually will cross our prospects' mind. This with a heading like this actually will trigger the prospect attention, and they may continue to look at the flyers and start noticing the next thing. So this is the attention part of the flyers. Then the next one, I'm looking at this. Earlier on, I mentioned to you that interest and desire are relatively close, right? And here the agents offer their quality services. Like they mentioned here, the power negotiation with best possible price, aggressive marketing techniques, and they give away free financial and procedure consultation, right? Prospects will become interested and will express their emotional desire to know more. So these parts can be the interest part or even the desire part, right? So once they reach this stage, once they reach the interest and the desire state, they will look around the flyers to take the next step. And where will they look? They will look here. They will look for the agent's number and take action and make the call. Okay. So this is one example of a flyers that use the four guidelines, four principles of perspectives. I'm going to share with you the next flyer. Again, in this case, is very, very obvious. So the word for sale is the attention part. Because I can see it very clearly, it's in red and there's a shadow and it's also in bold. So this flyer actually is to prospect for potential buyer. In this case, she's marketing District 15 Park Elegance. Right. So this is the attention for sale. Okay, once the potential buyer's attention is attracted, right, then the eyes will scroll down and look at the details. The details here actually quite interesting. Here she shared some photos, floor plan, a site plan, and even mentioned the best stack unblocked with pool facing. Right. So this is where the interest will come in. Right. Because a potential buyer will look at this, will actually pay close attention to this. This is the layout that she wants, and this is the layout that the buyer wants. Okay. This part of the flyer also draw out the potential, the buyer's potential desires to know more. Because when she mentioned here potential 5% rental yield, this is the desire part. Right? In this case, she's sharing with the prospective buyer that if you were to buy this property, you potentially can earn up to 5% rental yield. And she also created some urgency by urging the prospects to hurry and take the action, or else you will lose on this deal. And again, this is also important, contact number, and this is where the prospective buyer will take action, because the four principles are here, the four guidelines are here. For sale, the attention, interest part is what's inside the content of the flyer. The potential rental yield is where the desire will appear, and this is the part where the potential buyer will take action. The last flyer I'm going to share with you is this one. Again, I use example from when I created this flyer. I use example from Ivy's flyer. A good title heading, a good pictures of properties, nice background, all these will always attract potential prospects' attention. Okay. In this case, there are two parts of the interest and desire. One is here and one is here. Okay. Because some facts and information, for example, if you look at this part, right? Some facts and information on the marketing strategy actually can attract interest and also the desire. Because let's say if I'm a prospective seller, I will look at this: a free HDB indicative price, estimate valuation, free video marketing. So this actually will bring out the desire for me to, as a prospect, to call this agent, right? The one that will interest me will be the financial and procedure consultation and quality after sales service, customer service. Okay. And this part as well, the photos of the property, because for example, if I'm a prospective client, a potential prospects, all right, I will look at this and I may have a 5-room flat to sell, and then when I see these photos, I saw that he already sold a 5-room flat and he has sold a 4-room flat and a 3-room flat. So this will attract my interest and desire to find out more. Right? So on the whole, if you were to do a flyers, you should have all these 4 guidelines: the attention, interest, desire, and apart, of course, all of us put a telephone number where the prospects will take action. The next part I'm going to talk about is telemarketing. Now, telemarketing is something that is some of us still do, some of us don't do anymore, because agent usually they don't like to do telemarketing. I don't know why, but some of us are really scared of telemarketing. But of course, before you start any telemarketing or even door knocking activities, make sure you are well prepared. Make sure that you have prepare yourself with some facts and figures and information on the market trend. Right? Before I go on, let me see if there's any question and answer so far. If you have any question and answer, you can key in your questions on the Q&A chat box. All right. So let me just share with you again on the attention part. The IDA guidelines on telemarketing. The first part is the attention. Okay. Here I will share with you some of my tried, tested, and a script that works. Right, the first part of the call is always very, very important and very, very crucial, because you need the attention of the prospects as early as possible. But of course, with your voice and your diction has to be clear, and you must also sound confident. All right. So take a few seconds just to read my script here. Okay, before I go through in a while. Okay, in this script. Okay, let me read. Okay, let's say I'm the agent. I'm making the call. Hello, hi, good afternoon. My name is OTT. I'm calling from Orange Tea and Thai. Recently, a unit was sold in your area, and there are buyers who missed out on this deal. Do you know of anyone among your neighbors who are selling or have the intention to sell? All right. So this is not usually my script whenever I do a telemarketing or whenever I hired someone to do a telemarketing. This is my introductory script. In this script, there are 3 parts that will attract the prospect's attention. The first one is sold. Okay, recently a unit was sold in your area. So if they have the intention to sell, then they will say, oh, 1 unit was sold in my neighborhood. And then the second part is the buyers. Because if, let's say, if I'm a prospective client or prospective seller, and if I want to sell and my unit is still not sold, and then here I am, I'm receiving a call from someone who said that there are buyers who missed out on this deal. So that part as well, right? And the third one is this sentence: do you know of anyone among your neighbors who are selling or have the intention to sell the flat? And why I say that this part will attract the attention of your prospects, because you see, most of the time when owners or homeowners or prospective owners receive a telemarketing call, the agent will usually ask, do you want to sell your house, or do you have the intention to sell your flat? Right. But over here my question is different. So when I ask the prospects, every time I ask the prospect this question, do you know of anyone among your neighbors who are selling or have the intention to sell a flat? The prospect will usually pause for a while and think for a while. You know, they say, hey, this agent is different. He's asking me a different question. You know, and through my experience, sometimes the prospect actually reply, yes, my neighbor downstairs is selling. My neighbor next door is selling. Why don't you call them? You see? Okay. So this is the attention part of the telemarketing script. On the interest part, let's say I'm an agent making a call. A 5-room similar to the one that you are staying, or maybe if you call the person, she's staying in a 4-room, you can say a 4-room, all right? Similar to the one that you are selling now, or you are staying now, or sold for 20K above value. Or a 5-room flat, a unit above or below you, similar to the one that you are staying now, was sold for 20K above value. So again, this statement when you do telemarketing will actually attract the interest of your prospects. The keywords here will be 20K above value. And as a prospective seller, this will somehow make them more interested to find out even more. And this statement will actually will make them want to know more what are you going to offer next, right? Then comes to the desire part. Once they show the interest, they will ask you 20K of value, where is it, how much is it, what is the valuation, etc. So then they will be interested to know more, then they will start to ask questions. So this is where you can continue the conversation with your prospects. And then the moment you got the attention, the moment you get the interest, tend to bring out the desire, of your prospects. Sometimes when they suddenly share with you, yes, I'm actually thinking of selling my property. I'm actually thinking of selling my property, but not now. Maybe, yeah, I want to sell, but not now. Maybe next week, next year, or something like that. So what I'll do is that whenever they have this kind of, whenever they say like this, whenever they have the intention to actually sell, I will just come up with this sentence, just a word of caution, sir. Before you make the next move, not only you need to ensure that you do a proper financial calculation, but you also need to be aware of the latest market trend and housing policies. Now, do you agree? I will ask this question to the prospects. And most of the time they will say, yeah, true. I need to know what is the latest market trend? They ask me, what are the latest housing policy? All this I'm not very sure. Right? And then they mention, yeah, before I sell my flat, I need to know the financial calculation, right? So the keywords here are financial calculation, market trend, and housing policies. So these three things will actually bring out the desire from your prospects, because most of the prospects that I make a call usually are HDB owners, and so yes, true, some of them are not aware of the market trends or even the latest housing policies, and they know some of them actually knows about the financial calculation, but they're not sure whatever that they are doing the calculation, whether is it correct or not. All right. And of course, to bring out the desire, you must ask a closing question, something like, do you agree? Do you agree with what I just said? Do you agree with my statement? Right. If they say yes, then it's time for you to take the next action. The next action is to make the appointment. Right? So this is what I usually say to the prospects, right? I would like to share with you what the new changes are, and at the same time, I can assist you with the financial calculation. However, sir, however, ma'am, no obligation on that part. Now, does that sound good to you? I would share with them. I will ask them the closing question. Does that sound good to you? Right? And say, yes, that sounds good. Yes, you're right. Okay, then my final statement will be, let's meet tomorrow night. Okay. So this is the action that you need to take when you do a telemarketing. The moment you are able to get the attention, the interest, and the desire out of the prospects that you're making a call. The important thing about telemarketing is actually to engage the prospects. When you ask questions, is to engage the prospects and get them involved in the conversation, have a conversation with them. Right? The main objective in telemarketing is to secure an appointment. Okay. Next, I'll cover with you on door knocking, the IDA principles, door knocking. Again, when I go door knocking with my agents, right? When I go door knocking with an agent, when you knock on the door, what usually you ask? Right? I will use the same script that I use in telemarketing to get their attention. Again, when I knock on the door, I'll say, hi, my name is OTT. I'm calling from, I'm sorry, I should have changed this. I'm from Orange Tea and Thai. Recently, a unit was sold in your area, and there are buyers who missed out on this deal. Do you know of anyone among your neighbors who are selling or have the intention to sell? Again, the keywords here is sole buyers, right? And do you know of anyone among your neighbors who are selling or have the intention to sell a flat? Because again, usually when even in my place here, even my family, my relatives, whenever the agent knock, they always say, hello, hello uncle, hello auntie, do you want to sell your flat? Do you want to sell your flat? It's always that question they ask. But in this case, I asked them, do you know of anyone among your neighbors who are selling or have the intention to sell? Okay, because the last statement here, in the one in red box, actually we usually take the prospects by surprise. And actually, yes, I did have the experience, and then they will actually tell me, yeah, my neighbor is selling, or my neighbor is selling, you know. So this is one way of getting the attention of the prospects when you do a door knocking. I see there's a question there. Yeah. What is the best time to do telemarketing, and how many times a week? Usually I would advise at least 2 to 3 times a week. Best time is always in the evening, between 7:30 to probably about 8:30, about 1 hour, 7:30 to 8:30, because that's the time when usually family members had the dinner already and they'll be more relaxed, right? So that's, I hope you are, I hope Ada, I hope Ada, I answer your question. Yeah. So back to here. So I will use the same script when I do door knocking, same one as I use for telemarketing. Okay. So when it comes to interest, same thing again. You say the same thing again. A 5-room flat, similar to the one where you're staying now, or sold 20K above value. Or a 5-room flat, unit below you, or your neighbor downstairs, or your neighbor upstairs, is also sold for 20K above value. These will churn out the interest in the prospective homeowners or prospective seller that you are talking to when you knock on the door. When they hear this at 20K above value, you say, wow, 20K above value, interesting. Maybe I want to know more. And then whenever we had the experience, whenever I mention this, then the next thing the prospective owner will ask, how much was it sold? How much was it sold? Where was it? Which block? Which floor? Etc. So again, door knocking and telemarketing is the same thing. You have to. The idea is to get the prospects engaged and involved in a conversation. Right. Next one will be the desire part. Okay, door knocking, the desire part a little bit tricky. Right. But one thing is, I would say we are very fortunate. Okay, because Orange Tea, we have our own valuation department. Okay, so I always use our own valuation department as a bait to attract their attention, right? Because once we get a prospect attention, we can see that they're interested and they want to know more. Right. The one that we have is our valuation department is an offer. We can offer them something in return to draw out the desire for them to know more. All right. I know, I agree that some of you may say that yes, we have SRX, we have X value, etc. Right? Because what I usually do is that I will tell the prospects, we have our own valuation department, and then such department, let's say, by you sharing with us the renovation works that you did, how much, when do you buy, the details, what's the size of your flat, and then I can actually send this information to our valuation department, and we can get the results within 1 working day, right? Because nowadays the valuation of HDB flat is only the buyer are able to see the valuation, right? But for us, Orange Tea, we have our own valuation department, so I use this, right? So my next statement to bring out the desire was, I will tell them, we can get the estimate valuation of your flat within 1 working day. Would you like to know how much your flat is worth? This is what I will ask them. There's a question here, how to use the valuation department service? That's a very good question, Lawrence. Let me answer you in a while. Okay. Why I say I use valuation department because the idea is will be in the next slide. The answer will be in the next slide. Okay, Lawrence, you're asking me how to use the valuation department service. I think is in your Orange Tea app. Right? You can get it from your Orange Tea app. You can actually submit from there, right? Or even work at home. You can submit from your work at home. There's one part that you can clock in. You can click in and then you can put in the details there, right? So why I use Orange Tea valuation department? Okay, but before that, once I'm able to draw the attention to get the desire from the prospective clients or from the prospects, the moment we have the attention, we can see that they're interested and they want to know more, right? Then we have to take the next course of action. All right, and then I will tell them, then when I share with them, yes, we can get the valuation for you, estimate valuation within 1 working day. Then they'll ask you how you do that, how is it, what are you going to do? And then you share with them. In order for us to do that, we need some information from you, information like the cost of renovation, as I mentioned earlier. And usually I'll prepare a form and I'll ask them to fill out a form. So the form here will have the details, the name, the contact number, and etc. etc. And look at the last part of the sentence here. I said, we can send you the results tomorrow. So the reason when I do door knocking, I use Orange Tea valuation department as an excuse is because so I can see them again tomorrow, is to make the appointment. Right? Because when you don't do door knocking on the same day, and sometimes you are too tired, maybe this is the last house that you're already knocking on, and then you cannot really focus. So use this as an excuse to come back the next day. So when I say we can send the results to you tomorrow, and then straight away I make an appointment. 8 p.m. sounds good. Okay, so that's why I try not to use like X value from SRX or from HDB website showing them the prices. I will use Orange Tea valuation department because the idea is to make an appointment. Right, so as you can see, door knocking and telemarketing have the same objective, that is to secure an appointment. Okay, so Lawrence, I hope I answered your question earlier on. So the 4 guiding principles of effective prospecting are attention, interest, desire, and action. So basically what it means is that attention is to make prospects aware and become aware of you, your listings and the services that you can offer. And then the information that you share, prospects will become more interested and want to know more. And desire is to develop the prospect's interest into even more. They will ask you detailed questions and all those. And action is to make the appointment. So have these 4 guiding principles of effective prospecting. Use them in your flyers, in your telemarketing activities, and in your door knocking activities. Okay. So I think we have come to the end of the session. So those are the 4 guiding principles of effective prospecting. I hope all of us learned something new today.
Okay, thank you, Rain. Okay, if let's say you have any things that you can email to learning@orangetea.com, then we'll pass the question to Rain. Okay, thank you for attending today's session. I hope you guys learned something from Rain. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.